Instagram, YouTube, all those good joints. It's Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And yeah, I had to get some things together real quick when it comes down to YouTube. Yipper. Always got something funny going on with it. Yep. They don't love Kev at YouTube. They don't love Kev. But I know you guys do. So if you are available, let's get it going, man. Let's get it going. So let me see. I see myself in the chat, but I don't see everybody else. Where you at? All right. I don't want to be the only one in the chat chatting to myself like a crazy man up there in New York or something on the train talking to myself. So I see some people coming in. That real gorilla. Yeah, Roland, Roland, Toy, Andrew. All right, Susan. Oh, they're just bang, bang, bang. People rolling in on the scene with a gangster lean. Yeah, buddy. And I like to see that. So come on in. Come on in the house. It's going to rain. South Carolina's in the crib. You know that's where my people's from. Yeah, we came from South Carolina. Unlike a lot of the other woke black folks who want reparations, I just like knowing, the history of my family. Apparently, there were 2 slave plantations in Bennettsville, South Carolina, and in North Carolina, owned by a Englishman named General Ellerby. And yeah, he owned both of those. And then when he died and the slaves were free, they just took the last name. They didn't even know how to spell it. That's why it's spelled so many different ways. So I don't know. I don't know if my people are related to the ones in South Carolina, but I know a lot of people in North Carolina with my last name were related. We're related. It's just good to know. I'm not going to take it and go out there and use it to bully people and tell them to pay me because I'm black and I'm a lineage of slaves and stuff like that. I don't do that. I figure I can make my own path right about now because their days are over. But if you leave it up to a lot of woke folk, we're still living in it. We're still living in slavery. It's still oppression and stuff like that going on. So I don't let that stuff, guide my behavior. In fact, I discourage that type of stinking thinking when it comes down to people of color, specifically black folks who always want to jump back to the era that the Democrat Party was abusing them in. See, that's the part they don't know. They don't realize that. They don't realize the Democrat Party was responsible for all of the atrocities that they claim have affected us to this day. But yeah, that's this side note. Somebody distracted me when they said they were from South Carolina. All right, so let me see where else we checking in from. Eagle Eyes in the house. I think I saw Don pop up on the scene. Yeah, buddy. Make sure I got my live chat working. Now, with that being said, before we get into tonight's live stream, because we're going to go round the world in 1 hour, all around the world in 1 hour. It's just the same old song. Say all around the world in an hour. So we're going to try to do that in about an hour or so. But before we do that, got to let you know, check out Kevin's Corner store. Got some merchandise in there you can purchase if you like it. And also, you can text MAGA to 330-974-4607. 0647 or 0607. Hey, you know what? I'm all jacked up. I think it's 0607, maybe 0647. Who knows? Don, if you're in the house and you got the number, throw it up there. Please subscribe to my alternative channel. I'm getting notifications from it. So I hope that if you're subscribed to it, you're getting notifications too, because it got a lot of little, there's Don. A lot of little short clips and things like that come out of these live streams and some throwbacks. So please subscribe to that and binge. Have yourself a good old time over there. And then finally, if you want to support the channel through my Cash App or my PayPal link, you can do that through, my Cash App and my PayPal link. The links are below each video. You can go there and bless me if you like, or just do it through the super chat. Either way, but you can guarantee it gets to me directly through my Cash App and my PayPal link. Now, with that being said, we're going to try to go all around the world in an hour, roughly. Starting off in Europe, y'all, President Trump's back. And he went over there and he told it like it is once again to the Europeans. Apparently their leaders, man, are dumb. They want to do some self-inflicting behavior. Yeah, they don't get it. And what kills me is I'm still trying to wrap my head around why all of these globalists have concluded that it would be a good idea to flood their country with a whole bunch of people who don't believe in their culture, don't really love their country, coming in with all their type of baggage and stuff like that, coming in with their philosophies. They don't want to assimilate, none of that stuff. And I'm saying, you do realize that's a recipe for destruction when it comes down to your country. Are you just that woke? You want to be that hypersensitive to wokeness that you're willing to sacrifice your own people to where you go to Ireland and you're looking for them to be up there doing their little Irish dances, and they're not. They're not. Yeah, you go into these countries expecting things that we've been, aware of all the years about. Wow, if I go there, I'll probably see this, and it's not like that. And I'm saying to myself, somebody said, sending Kevin spam. Don't send me no spam. I don't like no spam, y'all. I remember eating that mess when I was growing up. Nobody likes spam because nobody knows what it is. Yeah, what is that jelly that's on spam? Crack open the can and see some spam with jelly on it. And I'm going, what is that? What is that jelly? Is that snot? Is that snot? And my mom and them used to make us eat it too. I thought, shut up, boy, eat this spam. It's just like bologna. So I don't want no spam. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying. They are ruining Europe. And the crazy part is our dumb politicians try to do the same to America. And I'm saying, what's in it for you guys? Now, I understand over here, our Democrats want to replace us when it comes down to voting. They want to replace the voters. And of course, they like the cheap labor. But other countries, I'm saying, what is it? What is it for you? What's in it for you guys? So it got to be some evil, devilish cult type philosophy that we want to tear down the whole world, bring it to heel, and set it up under one world government ran by just a couple small elites. And, when you look at some of these leaders of these countries who's doing that, I question if they're even going to be included in the elites. Maybe they're just stupid puppets as well. Macron and all the other leaders over in Europe who has bought into this. I'm saying, wow, are y'all really going to be included in this? I mean, have they sold y'all a bill of goods where they're like, yo, destroy your whole country? Call anybody who disagrees with you, watering down your whole culture as white supremacist, racist, or whatever. And yeah, let's see how it all works out. Don't worry. In the end, when all of your societies collapse, we'll build it back up again, and you will sit at the head of the table with us. I doubt it, though. So now, with that being said, let's see what Trump had to say over in Europe, because like Trump always does, he's dropping some truth bombs.
I see it. I'm not mentioning names. I see it, and I can call every single one of them out. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed.
Yeah. How is it that everybody else can see it, but except these dummies who's running their countries? And Trump has called it multiple times when it comes down to Europe. He called it about Germany being reliant on Russian oil and resources, and they laughed. They chuckled. He don't know what he's talking about, stupid old Trump. And bam! Trump has called so many things right. I got to get me, you know what? I was right about everything Trump had. I got to get one of those because he has. And it doesn't take a rocket science to see that. We can see it from all the way over here. We're like, man, y'all don't see y'all running your country? You don't see that the people are upset and giving pushback? And you guys are trying to say, well, that's because they're racist and stuff like that. At some point, the people are going to get tired of being called racist because they want to keep their culture and they want to keep their country. So Trump is calling it out ahead of time. This is the warning. Y'all keep going in the way you're going. You're going to destroy your country. But maybe they don't get it. Just like folks from other countries can see our dumb Democrats and liberals over here trying to destroy our country. And they envy. When I used to have my hotline, people would call in from other countries and be like, man, we love Trump. We wish we had us a Trump over here. Why can't y'all dumb Democrat voters over here see that y'all got a blessing? So now, here's Trump. Once again, I know these people are all hot up under the collar. They're all out there listening to this like Rodney Dangerfield. Oh, yeah, it's a tough crowd.
Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before.
Yeah, and the sad part about Europe is they really haven't been invaded. They've welcomed them in. There it is. They knew that Trojan horse was filled with folks who would come in and destroy their country. And they said, bring it in.
Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody is ever, and nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it.
Nothing about it. Because they want to be politically correct. I don't think it would be proper to actually ask these people to leave our countries. Because, and don't you know that these people are taking advantage of that? I forget the name of the black lady. She was a Muslim, but she goes around talking about some of the more radical parts of Islam and their agenda to subvert European society and use our institutions against us. You know, political correctness, woke ideology, all of those things. Use that against us. Because I know if I wanted to come in and infiltrate a country that was woke, and I knew that I could come in and bubble wrap myself just because I'm of a certain race or a certain religion, that's the best way to do it. Come on in there, spread whatever I want to spread, act like I want to act. And as soon as anybody says something to me, cry racism, cry, whatever phobia I got to, throw out there. And if the leaders go, whoa, 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 then I'm great. Yeah, matter of fact, I want to bring some of my friends in. It's kind of like when I was at Miami University. And they were hypersensitive over accusations of racism. And I might just write, I was a young boy then, you know what I'm saying? It was a little bit radical, a little bit pro-black, write something. And, I know I done wrote an English paper. It was kind of trash. And the professor reads it and they give me a C. I'm like, what's this? A C? Well, see, you know what it is? You can't understand the history of the black man. See, this writing right here comes from the inner city struggle that you don't understand up here at this, and they be like, whoa, 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 easy, pal. I don't want any trouble. I tell you what, though, why don't you just put the grade down that you think you should get? All right, then. Think I will. I think Kevin deserves an A. Any of my friends in there, they're black too. Okay, there's Rob's paper. Right, I think he needs an A-Locks paper. Hey, have them on their heels. Got them all backing up. Because, they're hypersensitive to racism. And people will take advantage of that type of stuff. Yeah, it backfired one time on me, though. The professor was like, don't you start that mess with me. I said, oh, shoot. They pushed back on I'm a black man. So let's continue. Here it is. Yep, there it is. There's Europe. Wow. I don't know what's going on there. There's a lot of coconuts being wasted. Huh. Yeah.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Kidding me?
It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now.
Got to end it.
I can tell you.
Failed experiment. Now, Trump's giving them the warning. You got to end it now. It's a failed experiment. Right now, you can't drag me to Europe. Back in the day, I'd be like, sure. I mean, outside of the flight, because I hate flying. That's my kryptonite. If I could get there by boat, skateboard, paraglider, something like that. I don't know, besides flying. But I would have loved to go over to Europe and to Greece. Spoke to a lady, and this was about 8-9 years ago when I was still in education, maybe even longer than that. And her family was from Greece, and she was like, my family don't even recognize it right now. Don't even recognize it. That's how bad. And that was like, it had to be at least 10 years ago. So imagine what it's like now, though.
I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
Yeah. But let's see. Here's France. Merci, oui, oui.
And now a quick look at the amazing sights of Paris.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That looks like California or something like that. What's up with those little baby tents? Let's continue. That's Paris? Is that Paris, guys? Round the world in about an hour. Well, that's one place we don't want to go. Look at that. Graffiti all in Paris. Yeah. Oh, well, look at that. Those are street artists. Now, don't go ahead and try to take that down. Forget having the Mona Lisa and all of that stuff and all of these wonderful, paintings and historical, architectural things. No. That right there is the new stuff you should go to Paris to look at. Graffiti on the side of the walls. Good old Europe. Wow. There, you see that guy? You see that guy's crib right there? Now, it's a fixer-upper. It's a little bit of a fixer-upper, but don't worry about it. I'm sure it's air-conditioned and has a very teeny small stove. maybe a bathroom that is the size of a jar that you use, and it's disposable. You can just set it outside and dump it on the street, and easy access. Yeah, you ain't got to get out the bed to poop or pee. Just right there, take it, stick your arm out the door, pour it on the streets, keep it moving. Yeah, it's a fixer-upper. There you go.
I say that's the California way.
Told you. Paris. Don't you want to go to Paris? Comment allez-vous, mon chéri? Yep, don't look like it's a lot of Paris people there. Looks like a lot of people from other countries. Now, see, one would call you racist if you say, look, maybe Paris should look like folks that originate from Paris. And wherever these people are from, maybe their country should look like that. And folks like to call it racist. No, see, there was a time where you would embrace immigrants that came here the right way in proportion, not a huge flood of them just showing up on Johnny on the spot. Yeah, I got a gut feeling they are not coming with good intentions. See, when you water it down to the point where you're just flooding it, it lowers the standard. You know what I mean? The market's flooded. It's not worth as much anymore, meaning American citizenship, Paris, France citizenship, or wherever you go, doesn't mean a lot to you if anybody could just come at any time. Yeah, people are just coming and saying, man, I'm going to go over there and take advantage of the system while their dumb leaders are in charge. Absolutely. But a person who actually says, I want to go over there the right way, become this, become that, become a citizen, first of all, then become whatever, and be a contributing person to society over there. It makes the country look diverse in a good way. It makes the country look receptive to people from other cultures in a good way. But it makes the country bitter if they are thrusted. People are just shoved down their throat, and they're going, wait a minute, y'all are overdosing us on a whole bunch of folks from other countries, and these folks aren't coming proud to be whatever. And it's a perfect example of our country. When these people were shoved in here by the Democrats, you think they came in here loyal to our country? You think they love? That's why as soon as they get mad and start protesting, what do? They throw up their own flags. I was offended, Trump's first administration, when these folks were coming to our country with their flags. And I'm going, you ain't even in our country yet. This looks like an invasion. You're rolling up on the scene like, we're coming. Tell Donald Trump we're coming anyway. And you're rocking your flag. Are you kidding me? Now, all that does is it makes the citizens get bitter and say, see, now y'all are abusing us. You're abusing our kindness. And then you're asking us to pay for all of this stuff. We don't even have time to get ready. It's like a whole bunch of family members being shoved into your crib. And you're like, I ain't get time to clean up. I ain't buy no food. I ain't got enough money. Look, man, I'm struggling a little bit. Can we just, so all 30 of y'all are coming to stay with me? Huh? I didn't have a say-so in this. Where are you going to sleep? Oh, and you ain't got no money? And you ain't contributed to the household? Are you kidding me? And then to make matters worse, you tell your own family members that live there, all right, you guys are going to have to stay out in the back barn while we accommodate our new neighbors. Or you think people are going to be okay with that? They're going to get upset and say, now y'all are abusing our kindness. So it ain't about racism. It's about doing things in decency and order. And look at that. Don't look like France. Well, there it is, guys. Aren't y'all all ready? Aren't y'all ready to book your tickets to Paris, to France? Merci, oui, oui. So Trump tried to warn them. I don't think, though, they're going to take his warning to heart. They're going to mess around and cause their citizens to act up, which they did. I'm pretty sure what they're doing right now is making a whole bunch of satellite MAGA folks out of these people. That's what they're doing by trying to attack them and tell them to shut up and, messing with the freedom of speech, which they don't have, and telling them they're racist for not wanting all of these illegal immigrants. At some point, the dam's going to break. So now, let's come back to the states. Starting with California. It's kind of trashy. So let's see what's going on out there.
We continue to stack more support, and we continue to recognize we need to continue to do more to support our efforts. Of course,
y'all see Satan? Y'all see Satan right there manifested in human form? So let's see what he's talking about, because he's trying to pretend that they're going to be tough on crime now.
we have seen some progress.
Oh, progress.
These numbers bear that out.
Bear that.
But these numbers mean little to people. These are aggregate numbers.
Yeah, they mean little to people because they are concoction numbers. They're made up. Yeah, there it is. And you want us to believe that over our own eyeballs, our own experiences and stuff like that. So he just don't want Trump to send the boys out there to dig into California. So let's see. They're telling us crime is down. Look at that. Now, you know what we got to do? We got to check its work.
Crime is down.
So two messages today are kind of contradictory. On the one hand, you're mocking Trump's deployments and highlighting the crime rates in red states that you say are higher, and at the same time, we're here because you're surging law enforcement across the state. So, do you believe that crime is a problem in California or not?
Uh-oh. Yeah. Contradictory statements. Now, do you believe crime is a problem in California or not, Gavin Newsom?
Well,
Well,
sort of curious question.
That's a curious question. What do you mean it's a curious question? It's a question that we all know the answer to, Gavin the Nuisance. We've seen all the video clips. There it is. We've seen the Dookie map. We've seen even you come out and talk about that Chi was coming to the city, that we're going to clean it up because Chi's coming. Swept all of those homeless folks right up under the rug until Chi left. And then out come the Dookie. There it is. Out come the Dookie. So now here he is trying to think, all right, come on, that Satan, Beelzebub, Lucifer, Lord of Flies, please give me the words to say.
The entire point that crime's an issue and we want to tackle it, and we continue to do more in that space.
What we see here in a way is an analog to what happened on the federal level, where President Trump sent in the National Guard. Governor Newsom is saying that is not needed. I can handle this on my own. I don't need your help.
Really?
According to the California Department of Justice, crime is down in nearly every major category statewide so far this year.
Look at that. Look at that. Crime is down. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to book your tickets to go to California now? Phew. Thank goodness. The crime is still. Wait a minute. We better check in with the people on the street. Yeah, we better go ahead and see what's going on the ground level. And we don't want to just listen and take our cues from Gavin the Nuisance.
Governor's office says there's been a 20% decrease in homicides and a 19% drop in robberies.
Okay.
No, it's just a lie. Everything's a lie.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing is a lie.
They are pleading for these crimes to stop. A disturbing and brazen smash and grab jewelry heist caught on camera in the South Bay.
Let's see.
This is video of the violent robbery that sent the store's 88-year-old owner to the hospital after more than a dozen mass thieves descended on the storefront.
Well, look at that. Crime is down. How do you think this 80-year-old man who owns this jewelry store feels about that? While these young scholars, dressed in all black like the Omen, decide to back into his crib. Now, just that alone is enough to give an 80-year-old a heart attack. Here you are sitting there ready to open up for business today, and a big crash comes through your front door. And then you're getting bombarded by all of these folks. Let's see what happens.
NBC Bay Area's Marion Favre spoke with the owner's family as well.
Now this old man, you see, he ain't even got a shirt on yet. He probably just got there. About to put his little polo shirt on to go ahead and work. And then these fools come in there. They don't care if they cause him to have a heart attack. I mean, this is despicable what's going on in California. And then they will come out there and lie to you. So now we got to hear a real live case of this 88-year-old. Why is he still working at 88? Good grief. But let's continue. Here we go.
Well as community leaders who are demanding change.
Look at
Of course, we have seen some progress. These numbers bear that out.
Tonight, the store owner is out of the hospital, but his family says he was so traumatized by the robbery, he may never return. You can see here that his store is boarded up. This is where a vehicle backed into the front door and then thieves ran in. It happened in seconds.
Now look at this.
Surveillance video captures what appears to be a well-choreographed attack.
I would say, now y'all watching this footage, this is what California has created. So now, you get one car that pulls up, backs in, and watch what happens.
As a car
Bam!
backs into Kim
Now, look at
Jong-un
this.
Friday afternoon,
Look at all those
as more
cars.
than 15 people jump out of 3 vehicles. This is what it looked like
Who's
inside the
coordinating
store
this?
as thieves wearing hoodies, masks, and caps smashed glass cases and snatched jewelry.
Look at this in California. Love come quick. Love come in a hurry. There are thieves in the temple tonight. There's a lot of thieves in the temple tonight, y'all. So that happened quick. Coordinated attack. You mean to tell me the feds can't figure out what's going on? I mean, are these people using carrier pigeons to communicate? Are what, the smoke signals? Smoke signals. Everybody tonight, we're gonna all. So how are they all coordinating this? And pretty sure those cars are not theirs. Why would you drive your own car to the robbery? So most likely these people were able to rip off some cars, then synchronize this robbery. So they got synchronized robberies going on here. And look at them all in there as the 88-year-old man watches business get destroyed.
That's America. That's California.
Yeah, place not
At
to
one
go.
point, a suspect pushes down the 88-year-old store owner.
Now see, that ain't right. You see him push down Pops. Push down an 88-year-old store owner. Boy, I tell you, lucky that ain't my grandpops. You know, it's almost like you got to have a guy in the back with an automatic machine gun. Just so when this happened, they just come out and mow down these disgusting bank robbers slash jury robbers, and nothing's going to happen to them. You think Gavin the Nuisance is going to go after them? First of all, most likely they're all young black scholars. So you definitely don't want to do nothing to them, okay? And then they push the old 88-year-old man down, and he don't want to go back to work now.
Cuts his feet on broken glass. His niece found him outside the store minutes later.
Oh my God, it's all blood. It's all blood.
She says her uncle was taken to the hospital, where doctors also confirmed he had a stroke. He was released from the hospital today, but his niece says after 4 decades in the jewelry business, the owner is so traumatized he may never return to his business.
So I think he might be Asian, you know. He looks like he's an Asian man. Horrible. They went ahead and robbed this guy in California. And like we see this happen all the time in these SO-ran cities, nothing ever happens. They're not going after these young men. Somebody said Vietnamese, so he's Vietnamese. And the sad part about it is, you know, you could put together a task force. You can get some type of undercover folks to try to go into these networks and figure out, how about you catch one of them and then use that one person to, tell on when they're going to do these and where they're going to be at, so the police can set up sting operations to catch these people. How about you do some? Why am I thinking like this? I'm not a part of California's police department. I'm pretty sure, though, they tell them, don't worry about it. There's nothing we could do. Say it, Rico. I mean, there's so many options, but you're telling me they can't figure this out. They can't stop this. So they create this monster in California by lowering the standard when it comes down to robbery. Long as you rob under $900, you're good. You're good. And don't forget, our police aren't really going to respond to this or come after you. So yeah, you're pretty much just going to get away with this. You know, so you're creating this horrific behavior, and how you going to undo this? You got to crack down on this mess so heavy, and you got to go ahead and put together a sting operation. Yeah, something like this, a task force specifically to go after this. But they don't care enough to do it. That's the problem. And then Gavin the Nuisance would definitely tell you, don't bring Trump in here with all of his Gestapos and stuff like that, because we can handle our own crime. Interesting.
Something he coming back. Absolutely no.
His son was also inside during the robbery and was not hurt.
This has become a regular occurrence.
Today,
In
the family and
California.
community leaders are demanding change to crack down on smash and grabs.
Gonna make a change to what's in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Ain't gonna make a difference. Because Gavin Nuisance is on the wheels of steel. You think that dude right there is listening to these people? Shut up, peasants. White nationalist racists. whining about these people. All they're doing is getting reparations. That's all they're doing.
This is very scary for every small business that own a shop. And for a lot of them, this is their livelihood.
It's becoming a huge problem. It's a crime wave that's happening everywhere.
It's extraordinary. Pat yourselves on the back.
Yeah, Gavin the nuisance. But remember, he just did a little, I guess, press conference talking about crime is down. We don't need Trump in here, coming here with his white supremacists and stuff like that. We can handle it. Do you think that guy's going to handle it? Yeah, the funniest thing was when he was actually in a store, I think it was a Target or something, and he was watching somebody just walk out with stuff, and he's like, what is going on here? I can't, but you just gonna let that get. And the girl that was ringing up everybody was like, hey, this is your policies. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's your policies. You did this, Gavin Newsom. But yet he's out there talking about crime is down, we're cracking down on it. But it doesn't sound like that to the people. So now you're going to sacrifice the law-abiding citizens, the taxpayers, for a whole bunch of criminals. That's what you're going to do. Yeah, that's what these liberal behind cities does. It's like, yo, forget the citizens that make life better. The folks that go by the rules, they pay, their taxes, they're just trying to make a living. Small businesses, the middle class. You don't care about them. Let them be victims to all of these criminals who don't contribute to society. They do nothing but take. And guess what? You encourage them to do that. Yeah, y'all encourage these young criminals.
Our message is working.
Does it feel like there's a lot of crime in this area now?
Yes.
Yeah.
And are people pretty frightened by it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's too bad, you Asian lady. Too bad you don't live out there where Gavin Newsom live. Then you wouldn't have to worry about this. Too bad you don't live out there where Nancy Pelosi live. Too bad you're not out there on Gavin Newsom's vineyard and stuff like that. Because, see, he wouldn't let these hoodlums just roll up with a whole bunch of cars and steal all of his grapes. He got to make wine so he could make some cheese. You know what I mean? Yeah, see, that's the point where he create the task force and stuff. What? They robbed my vineyard? They're out there stepping on grapes to make wine? Yeah, they stole all my wine? Yeah, get them. Arrest them all. But for these people, shut up.
After what they've been through, the Asian community isn't relying on crime stats. They want to see more police officers, and some are even welcoming the idea of deploying the National Guard.
What? Now listen to that. Citizens that really know what's going on are welcoming the National Guard. They're like, oh, where's this National Guard you speak of, Trump? Can we get some of that here? Oh, okay, so that's racism and the authoritarianism and stuff like that. And you think the little Vietnamese man who got shoved to the ground and robbed feels that way?
Do you really think that's a good idea?
It's a mixed bag. Currently, we've been asking the communities that are asking for public safety for years and years, and nothing has happened.
You haven't had the chance to see the magnificence, the beauty of our great state. It's time to visit California.
No, I won't be doing that. I'll tell you that much. I won't be doing that, Gavin the nuisance. I might step on some doo-doo. There it is. Who knows? It's all over the place there. So, as you can see, as we visit California, we started off in PLE, and now we're back to the States in California. We see what's going on out there. But apparently it's not happening to the right group of people. And these people said that this has been going on for a while. And see, what really kills me, though, is when you get folks in these woke cities and states that are complaining about how horrible the crime is, but yet they feel too bad to say, bring in the National Guard. I'm saying, okay, so you'd rather deal with the crime instead of having troops walking around the cities keeping you safe? Now, the average person who has to deal with this type of crime is saying, yeah, bring in the National Guard, help us out here. But I'm sure out there in California, you'll get people who say, yeah, we're victims of crime and everything like that, but let's make excuses for the crime. Let's go ahead and, not allow Trump coming in with his Gestapo. That's where people lose all of their common sense when it comes down to Trump. That Trump derangement syndrome will get on you like a monkey on your back and will scratch all of the common sense out of your dome. If I was in one of these joints, I would be screaming at the top of my lungs, Trump, bring in the National Guard. Now let's go to another city. One of my favorite SO Ran cities that I like to talk about. Because when they're SO Ran, It's a favorite place to poop on. There it is. It's a favorite place to poop on. And I'm talking about Chicago.
Ripping families apart. It's not the first time this country has done this.
Now, here's the guy I want to get into the ring with right here. Y'all all know Mayor Mohawk, Mayor Conehead right there, ripping families apart. It's not the first time in our country. Now, you know what he's referring to. See, now, this dirtbag right here is trying to protect all these illegal immigrants that he brought in and spent taxpayers' dollars on. And to do it, he has to now use the most asinine comparison known to man, trying to pretend that taking these illegal immigrants who willfully came to our country, knowing that it was illegal, back to their country is the same as a time in history where ripping families apart. Let me guess what you're talking about. Let me think. What could it be? The slavery? That's what you're referring to, Conehead? You're trying now to compare these illegal immigrants being taken back to their country with their family members, if they choose to go with them, to slavery. That's why he's the dirtiest of the dirties. He's the worst of the worst. You know, he's a manipulator of people's emotions, and he's taking history and using it to do it.
And this is why it's important that as black and brown folks, we stand together.
Now, you see that? I'm gonna have to go ahead and reveal why he did that. Why he invoked slavery. This is important. Why brown and black folks need to stand together. So he's trying to create a coalition. He's trying to pretend that, hey, these people that are being separated from their families by choice are illegal immigrants I'm referring to. No, I'm not going to let you know that. I'm going to make this comparison, and I'm going to hope that ignorant minorities, ignorant black people will think that, wait a minute, we done went back to those days? So wait, these Trump Gestapos coming in and to black and brown neighborhoods, and they're ripping black and brown babies away from their parents, citizens, American citizens. They're ripping them away from their parents. This is just like slavery all over again. That's what's happening. So now this guy wants other folks of color to jump on board with this and support it. And, you know, by making this link between African history and how they were brought here and they were separated from their kids to modern history of how these illegal immigrants, not all people of color, by the way, but all of these illegal immigrants who came here illegally by choice. And when they are caught, of course, you have to separate the parents from the kids from the parents for a short period of time, especially when you're holding them in some type of facility. But the reality is, this is the only slavery, I guess, that we want them to go back. Now, isn't that crazy? Why isn't Mayor Mohawk letting them know that? Why isn't he making that comparison? You know, when they brought the slaves here and they separated them, it was so they could break down the family unit, and then, you know, you isolate them and use them for slavery. However, in this case, we want these folks to just go back home. Just go back home. And guess what? Take your kids with you. Take your husband. Hey, you could go with them if you want. We'll even accommodate you. Now, you think he's letting his people know that? Nope. That's why I want to get in the octagon with Mayor Mohawk. Straight up in the octagon with him and go to work on that Mohawk. So now, here he is, lying about this.
Because I come from a lineage which this country ripped black mothers and black fathers away from black children.
He's the worst kind of human. The worst kind of race baiter. Worst kind of if I'm a black person in Chicago, I'm mad at the fact that he thought he can pull this mess over on me. Talking about I come from a lineage with black mothers and black fathers and stuff like that, just so he could keep his precious illegal immigrants that are hurting the black people that he's trying to drag on board to support this mess. Taking up their resources, being shoved into their neighborhoods. He ain't telling them that. He ain't telling them, yo, by the way, I'm talking about folks that aren't even American citizens that came here willfully, that I am using your taxpayer dollars to support, to keep here. And guess what? I want you dummies to help me do it. I want y'all to be blinded by me throwing out some history of slaves and my lineage and black folks and this and that. I want y'all to be blinded by that and be stupid enough to jump on board and get out there and say we all got to stick together because I guess we all got the same plight and the same history. No, we don't. This ain't got nothing to do with black folks, and he knows it, but he's trying to drag us into it. And this burns me up. And if black people up there in Chicago are dumb enough to fall for this, they deserve what they get.
To build this capitalistic society.
The one that you're benefiting over. To build this capitalistic society. Okay. The beautiful Chicago, which the slaves had nothing to do with. The native folks didn't build it. But there you are talking about to build this capitalistic society that me and my conehead, where I'm getting all these high expensive haircuts, are benefiting off of.
And they're doing it again.
And they're doing it again. And you wonder why the hyperbole, the verbiage, the language, the descriptions that these folks are using are inciting folks to violence. You wonder why. Now here's this guy basically saying we're living in slave times. Now do you understand the leap of logic that you have, how stupid you gotta be to really buy into that we're living in modern slave catching times? But this guy just straight got out there and did it. Because he don't want to answer the tough questions of why is it that you are trying to protect folks that aren't citizens here in the country and you're using taxpayers' dollars to do it?
As I've said before, this is not hyperbolic.
It's not hyperbolic. If you got to say that, guess what it is? It's hyperbolic. It's way over the top. You're trying to compare. It's no different than the Democrats comparing what Trump's doing to the Nazis. This guy's comparing what Trump is doing to slavery. To slavery. And he's saying, but it's not hyperbolic. I have to say that because right now your brain should start start drifting towards, wait a minute. Is he trying to say that, oh, I'm sorry, I just got interrupted. I was having a logical thought and you interrupted me by saying, now wait, I know you might be going there right about now, but I'm just here to remind you, it's not hyperbolic. Oh, thank goodness, because for a second there, I was starting to think that he was making a drastic, over-the-top lie comparison to slavery. For a second, that's what I was thinking, but thank goodness he interrupted me and told me it's not hyperbolic.
There are those in this country who still believe that the Civil War went the wrong way.
What in the heck? Man, somebody get this guy. Somebody convince him to get in the octagon with me. That's all I want. I just need about, not even 5 minutes. Give me 2. I'll take 2. I'll take 2 real rough minutes in the octagon. Willfully. I want him to willfully participate in this, okay? Yeah, I put money up. I'd be like, look here, Mayor Coney, if you could survive 2 minutes in the octagon with me, how much you have to? I'll scrape about 30 grand. 2 minutes without tapping out. 2 minutes. Man, I would squeeze that mohawk so tight in one of my hands, it'll look like an Afro puff on the top. That tight. You. So now, y'all heard what he just said. There's some people that thought that the Civil War went the wrong way. Yeah, the Democrats. You're right about that. The party that you're a part of, they're the ones that thought the Civil War went the wrong way. No wonder they said, well, shoot, if we can't have all of these black folks working in the cotton fields and stuff, we'll have them voting for us. That's what we'll do, and we'll do just what we used to do to the slaves. We'll set up an overseer, just like Mayor Conehead, to keep them in line, to pump their heads with this garbage like he's doing right here. So yes, you're right. The Democrats, let's continue.
And I just want immigrant community, whether you're documented or not, that this country has done these type of acts before, and that there are people who understand that. And because we do understand that, it's why I'm able to stand so boldly and so firmly in opposition to what this government is doing.
Now, you know what he's trying to do? He had to slide that in to immigrants that are documented or not. Yeah, so basically all of you documented legal immigrants here, the ones that came here the right way or the ones that happen to just have, their second generation or whatever. We want you to get on board with it too. Now, how'd that work out in the election? Yeah, see, they assumed that all of those Latinos in Georgia and all around the place and up there in Pennsylvania would all jump on board with our diabolical plan to flood your cities and states with a whole bunch of illegal immigrants that might be the same race as you, and just assume that you guys will be okay with it. I mean, heck, you got your citizenship. Why don't you try to help them get theirs illegally? Why don't you go ahead and help them skip the line, skip the process, and help them come on in and fight for them? Be willing to get out there and block ICE and yell and whine and complain and stick together. And yet that didn't work out during the election? You mean to tell me they were too smart to realize that regardless of these people being our race, that doesn't allow them or mean that they should come here illegally, skip the line, be thrown into our neighborhoods, and y'all use our resources, and then they compete with our jobs? Any American that's stupid enough to go ahead and fall for this, you deserve what you get. You deserve what you get. Any group of black folks get on board with this, like, yeah, I guess these people are experiencing the same thing as slavery, so we got to go down and fight with them. You deserve what you get. And this dude is using you.
Ripping families apart while abdicating their responsibility to actually fix our broken immigration system.
Now, notice Mayor Conehead don't ever talk about American citizens that get arrested and they get removed from their family. Isn't that odd? That they come up with these new ideas and new concepts for their illegal immigrants. All of a sudden, the laws that Americans have to abide by don't apply to the precious illegal immigrants. Yeah, they shouldn't have the consequence of being removed from their family when they are arrested for breaking our laws. Because it's equal to slavery for them. But Rollo Jenkins, mess around, rob somebody, you get ripped apart from your family. You shut up. You're just nothing more than a regular American citizen. See, so isn't that odd how they come up with these new concepts to subvert the law? Oh, and here he is again.
Knowing how he responds to that could actually provoke him to follow through with this talk about sending in the National Guard when yesterday he seemed to waffle. Could this make things worse, all this pushback?
Could you imagine if, as a descendant of slaves, if my ancestors would have had that same rationale?
It's crazy how this guy goes straight to slavery every time. Straight to slavery every time. Now, he asked him, do you think all of your rhetoric against Trump is really going to, it might just incite, Trump to send in the National Guard? Can you imagine if my ancestors from slavery would have Now, the police up there in Chicago hate this guy. They hate this guy. And I'm going to tell you right now, as we're going all around the world in roughly an hour and some change, I would not go to Chicago right now to save my life. Now, maybe if I had a family member up there trying to escape, I was trying to get free. Can you meet me at the state line, pick me up? Yeah, that's about it. But I know I won't be able to keep it together if I roll up in Chicago and I see Mayor Conehead talking about now. Can you imagine if my people from the slavery?
Let's not fight against the Confederacy. Let's just try to get along, and then maybe one day they'll give us our freedom. Nowhere in the history of America or the world where marginalized people have sat silent and idle, and they've been able to actually achieve justice and liberation.
Is anybody believing this guy? Is anybody falling for that? I mean, I wonder if the black folks standing behind him realize that this is just nothing more than a ploy. This is a way to block any criticism about his diabolical scheme with these illegal immigrants. Every single time he does this, straight to slavery. That we fought against slavery back in the day, we'll do it again because it's happening right now. It's happening right now. So are these illegal immigrants being obtained and forced into labor, free labor? Are they being whipped? That's my question. Are we all using them to make MAGA hats? We're going to get them. Then we're going to put them on the plantation so they can start making MAGA hats for us for free. That's what we're doing to them, or we just trying to send them the heck back home?
The fact that you have a unified front in Chicago where we are rejecting the occupation by the military of our cities, that's actually fighting for our democracy. That's fighting for our democracy. Are you kidding me? And I'm sure the unified front
is not what he is saying it is. We're about to find out. But that's actually fighting for our democracy as we try to flood our city and state with illegal immigrants that is going to water down the so-called democracy. Water down all of those votes once you get these people some type of raggedy citizenship, amnesty, giving them licenses, making sure they can vote. You think that's good for democracy? And liberals will support things that will ultimately, lead to their own demise. They got to be the dumbest people in America, man. I'm saying, wow, y'all letting these folks drag y'all into stuff that you're not even seeing. That, wait a minute, this gonna hurt me. This will affect me.
What's required in this moment? Leading in this moment takes a great deal of courage, but we stand on the shoulders of so many people that have come before us.
We stand on the shoulders of so many, any old black trope that I could come up with. The standing against this in the moment takes courage. It takes stupidity and complete ignorance. The only way you can get somebody to help or support what you're talking about right here, they have to be 100% ignorant and blinded by, racism and identity politics and leftist ideology to buy into this. And you're talking about we all got to stick together. No, we don't.
We have seen these type of tyrannical acts before. One thing that we know for sure, when we fight back against tyranny, the people united always prevail.
So what are you referring to when you say fight back against tyranny? What tyranny are you talking about, first of all? Now, and then what are you trying to do? What are you asking your legitimate American citizens in Chicago to do to fight back against this so-called tyranny you speak of? You're going to get your own citizens thrown in jail if they go up there jumping up in ICE's face, attacking ICE, throwing stuff at ICE. You're going to get them thrown in jail. You're encouraging them to do things you're not willing to do. Why don't you lead them into battle, Captain? Why don't you put a helmet on that cone head? Go ahead and get all your ignorant folks who think that this is tyranny and we got to fight back against it, and lead them down there to confront ICE face to face. By any means necessary, brother. So we can see them grab you by that cone and throw you right in the slammer, along with any other dummy willing to follow you. But you're not going to do that, though. Now, you just want to go ahead and encourage them to do it. And some folks are stupid enough to do it.
No federal troops in the city of Chicago.
Remember this, y'all?
No militarized force in the city of Chicago.
Let's see how that all worked out.
We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago. We're going to protect the humanity of every single person in the city of Chicago.
A few moments later.
Well, look at that. Send in the troops. And look at these people. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I thought you had everybody on one accord there in Chicago. And I thought y'all was going to fight back against the troops that's coming into Chicago. There they are. What you going to do? What you going to do? Right in your face, Cone. What you going to do, huh? Nothing.
Well, let's go.
Oh, boy. Now we got to go up to D.C. Because, see, you see this lady right here with these big movie screens on her eyes right there? She got a drive-through movie screen on each eye, covering up those eyelashes. She need glasses this big to go ahead and suppress that big fat eyelash she got up under there. So now she's about to talk about Washington. So now we're moving from, we start off in France and Europe. Now we went to California. Then we went to Chicago. Now we're going to D.C. Let's see what she's talking about.
Go through some of your failures. So before you were even confirmed, and I think one of my colleague from Georgia, pointed out that you were already targeting career officials so that you could direct illegal firings. Mind you, these cases that you were so upset about, which are the ones tied to Trump, the cases came through his handpicked FBI director.
Oh, okay.
And frankly, when people sit around and say things like, oh, we're happy because now we feel safe. I don't know who feels safe in this country except for the white supremacists.
Wow. I mean, you would think they would say, you know what? Maybe people are getting tired of hearing Democrats use racism as a defense. I mean, you would think they would think that. You would think that okay, maybe I'm wearing this racism thing out. Maybe, we've beat this racism horse to death. So now, this lady with these big fat square binoculars on her eyeballs are talking about nobody in this country feels safe but the white supremacists. This lady who has protection and drivers and people pick her up and stuff like that, I guess she don't feel safe. She don't feel safe. Now, I don't know about you, but I pretty much feel safe anywhere I walk around the country, unless it's an SO-ran Democrat city. And the sad part about those SO-ran Democrat cities is a lot of the people committing the violent acts are blacks. A lot of the people committing the violent acts are blacks. So now, those are some areas, me as a black man, yeah, I'm no joke. I got a physical presence that might discourage the average person from trying me. But at the same time, when you go into a place where all of the folks might have guns, all of them, they might gang up, they might immediately identify you as a stranger. They might size you up and say, you know what this guy have on him that I might be able to benefit off of. Or it just might be, we don't even like you. We just don't like your look. Why are you in our neighborhoods? See, those are neighborhoods that no matter how tough you think you are, if you're smart, you go, I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there. Yeah, I'm not worried about that when I walk into a white neighborhood or white area. I'm not worried about those things. And neither is she. She's just throwing it out there. I guarantee you, this one right here, this chick won't spend a night in the inner cities of Chicago. She ain't gonna walk into certain inner city neighborhoods because she's scared too. She's scared too. But here she is trying to pretend that only people that feel safe in this country are the white supremacists that we're still trying to figure out where they're at. I'm still trying to understand what qualifies white folks to be a white supremacist or not. It's just, I guess, her just saying that, okay, I'm calling you a white supremacist because you don't agree with our politics. So it's obvious you're a white supremacist. You other Democrats, none of y'all are white supremacists. None of y'all are. It's just conservatives.
Because I specifically, as a black woman, definitely don't feel safe.
Oh my God.
Really? Then why are you here?
Thank you. Why are you here? All of these race baiters who claim that we're so racist and you know what, we're afraid of our life from white folks that are not killing black folks. I'm just wondering. I'm waiting to see the data. I see a lot of data with black on black deaths. I don't see the opposite. I don't see white folks killing black folks. Yeah. But the question is, for all of these Democrats who use this, why are you still here? You get up there and you try to fearmonger. You try to tell people of color that this is a racist place, white supremacy, all of this stuff, and like Mayor Conehead, slavery, and yet you're trying to keep all those precious illegal immigrants here so they can be caught by the slave masters. Do you think slaves back in the day would have been trying to keep other slaves who just showed up on the shores to stay? You think they'd be like, man, this is a great place, come on. Or would they be going, get back on the boat along with me? I was going to get on the boat with you so we can go back to Africa. So we can get out of here. But yet, these folks are saying, you're welcome here. Come here to this white supremacist country. And it's the only people, though, that's going to be safe, feel safe, are the white supremacists and stuff. Unreal.
There was domestic terrorism that was taking place at HBCUs. They were targeted. Yet I didn't hear anything from the FBI about what was going on. And again, black people kept saying, how did we end up in this?
Exactly. And my gut tells me it was some left-leaning organization who ran a false flag operation. That's if it even happened. Because y'all were trying to get the heat off of the rhetoric that comes out of the left. That encourages all of these violent attacks. So then, of course, Charlie Kirk gets killed. And what do y'all do? Oh, shoot. Now, let's see. Let's make it seem like the white supremacists are retaliating and reacting to this so we can get the heat off of us. And say that the people are calling HBCUs and saying we're coming. Well, what happened? Did anybody show up? Did anybody do anything? No, just some phone calls maybe. Who was on the phone? Who made the phone calls? Who sent those threats? So you're just going to use that. It's kind of like whenever these dummies get in trouble, the first thing they say is, my life's in danger. People are sending me death threats. No follow through. No investigation on who did that. It's just we're taking your word for it. Interesting. But now let's get back to her saying that, you know what? The only folks that feel unsafe are the black folks. Let's see. We go.
Because the numbers are so very clear that white supremacy is a problem. And honestly, I've not heard anything out of you today that makes me believe that you're going to do anything about the white supremacy problem. The one that is leading to children being killed, children being shot.
What? The white supremacy problem that's leading to... I mean, see, this is an example. They just say stuff. She's out there like the one that leads the children being killed, the children being shot. Have y'all heard of all of the little black kids killed by white supremacists? Y'all haven't heard of that? But what I have heard of is a lot of black kids, like what we're about to hear right here, in black neighborhoods being killed by other black people. But yeah, she said we got a white supremacy problem.
I'm Keith Kate. Thank you for joining us tonight. 4 painful years later, a Hillsborough County mother says justice has finally been served in the death of her 4-year-old little girl. Today, a Hillsborough County judge convicted the 5 men who shot and killed Sonny Bell.
And I'm sure these were 5 white supremacists, right? 5 white guys. Bred deep down, cornbread fed white guy from some upper hill back alley joint down in Alabama somewhere.
I believe in God, so I knew God was gonna make a way.
Back in 2021, Mom Mary Harrison, her daughter 4-year-old Sonny Bell, and the child's uncle were all traveling along East Hillsborough Avenue and 43rd Street. The state attorney's office says
they were ambushed by Bob and a whole bunch of white supremacists.
The car was hit by bullets from at least 4 different firearms.
And ever since Sonny died, that's been our mission, is to get justice for her.
Since the trial began, the prosecution showed surveillance video, shell casings, and recovered guns, claiming that these men, Zavante Sampson...
Oh, the name alone, Devontae, that don't sound like no white supremacist name to me, man. We don't name our kids no Devontae and Shaquan and, you know, Marquise and stuff like that. Good old-fashioned white names like Tom, Dick, and Harry. So now, you see all these white supremacists right here? You see them? Boy, they got some good makeup. Got them looking black. Whew, man, I tell you. So let's hear about Shaquan and Marquise and all of them.
Quandarius Hammond, Jalen Bedward, James Denson, and Andrew Thompson were responsible for what they claim was a targeted drive-by attack.
Wow. Now, do y'all see those white supremacists that all the folks are being killed, all the kids being killed by? Yeah, you think these idiots right here even consider there might be a child in the car when they start pumping bullets through there? There you go. Out they throw the book at every single one of these. And yet you get Democrats get on TV and lie about the biggest threat to black people are white supremacists. Yeah, I would be more afraid riding past these 5 dudes right here. They probably can't fight, can't bust a grape, but sure can't pull a trigger ignorantly, just straight spraying everybody. Yeah, hey, I wonder how they felt when they found out, oh shoot, the kid was in the car. You think they had remorse? Boy, I tell you, man, I can't stand black Democrats. I can't stand Democrats, period. But when I see them using black Democrats to, you know, really overlook the issue in the black neighborhoods and the black culture and stuff like that and scapegoat all of the real threats to black folks while at the same time claiming they love black people and they're trying to fight for them. And I'm saying, you know what? If you're trying to fight for them, get these dudes off the street. Get them off the street. How about that? But you're out here looking for a white supremacist and stuff like that. Unreal.
Because the numbers are so very clear that white supremacy is a problem.
Did you ever think maybe the problem is...
Yeah, the problem is you. That's what the problem is. So now, here we go. Where are we at now? Let's see where this is taking place. I think this might be, let's see. This might be Chicago. Is this Chicago? Let's see. Are we back to Chicago? Let's see. Here we go. Because guess what, y'all? They done went out and found the same people we see all the time. Whole bunch of white liberals with masks on that they claim we shouldn't have masks on out here trying to stop ICE from doing their job.
Believe that we will win! I believe that we will win! I believe that we will win!
You see these dummies? Here it is, guys.
What's your name? Name and birthday. Up with liberation. Come on with deportation. Up with liberation.
Now y'all see them? White liberals, whole bunch of white liberals. These are the ones that see. It's hard to get a lot of brothers out there to this type of stuff right here. I ain't gonna be like, brothers aren't trying to give up their, Saturday or whatever, come down here and stand in front of cars talking about singing chants. White liberals are, though. And so now here they are. Now, the word on the street is Trump is tired of all these protesters, and we are definitely going to be going after the ones that most likely are Antifians. Okay, but it's odd to me that nobody's trying to tell these people to get masks off their faces.
Up with liberation! Down with deportation! Down with deportation!
Look at that. And yet they're sweeping down. These are peaceful. These are peaceful protests right here. That's what these are supposed to be. Peaceful protests, okay? All right, so understand. This is what peaceful protest looks like to them. Now. Arrest ICE. Did you hear that? Did you hear what that person said? He said, I don't even know if I can say it. He said, to ICE. That's what that guy said. But these are mostly peaceful protesters. That guy just said SHOOT. ICE. Now, does that sound like, an incentive to violence right there? Only like 2 people said it, repeated that. They probably like, whoa, wait a minute now. I'm just here because they're paying me a paycheck here. I'm not going to be capping people. But that's what that person said. And a couple dummies were okay with repeating it. And yet they want ICE to just ignore this. They out there with their black helmets on, I see, and their masks and stuff like this. I cannot wait until they go ham on these people. Out there in Portland, out there in Chicago, and any other SORAN city that are using these people as dummies to harass and stand in the front of cars and stuff like that.
Cash had stated about this a couple of days ago, sir. So I believe it was in Oregon where you had a federal building where there were men in black ski masks who were committing acts of violence, who were shutting down a government building. To the president's point, they don't come from nowhere. These are paid people. This is organized. They're committing acts of political terrorism on American soil. And it's time we had a government that looked out for the American people rather than the people who are committing violence against the American people.
Thank you, JD, our future president, most likely. Yeah, because in Portland, another SORAN city, they were acting a fool every single night to where the regular citizens are going, would y'all shut it up? And recently, I guess the mayor out there, or the governor, I'm not sure, whoever she is, she got a haircut to let everybody know that I'm gay. I'm just going to let you know the suits that I wear and the haircut that I have, I'm gay. How else can I let you know that? I want to be more manly looking than impossible. So now they're talking about what needs to happen to these SORAN cities that for some reason have the same people show up every night and all night. And I'm saying, do you have a job? Oh, that is your job. Okay, so somebody's supporting that. Well, what are we going to do about this, Trump?
When you go out to Portland and you see what's happening in Portland, this is like nobody's ever seen anything like it every night. And this has gone on for years. They just burn the place down. And the shop owners, most of them have left. But the few shops that are open, they just use plywood and just like 3/4-inch plywood. They don't put storefronts because they know it's going to be burned down. Yeah. These are professional agitators. Right. These are bad people. And they're paid a lot of money by rich people, some of whom we know. Yeah, we know. I'm sure I know some.
We know.
I don't. If I knew, I wouldn't associate because I'll be in trouble. Because Pam will say, "Why are you associating with this person?" But I will tell you that these are bad people, and they're paying a lot of money, millions of dollars. But take a look at Portland sometime. These are wild. These are crazy people. And they're trying to burn down buildings, including federal buildings. And on my list of things that I want to do before we finish up with the cities, because I think we're going to whip the cities back into shape, but we have to. We cannot let our cities, and that's a small example, but it's the most violent example. It's every night, and they've done it for years.
years.
You think maybe at some point they made their point, and what are they doing?
No.
But we're going to get out there, and we're going to do a pretty big number of those people in Portland that are doing that. They're professional agitators and anarchists. They're actually anarchists, yeah.
Thank you, Trump, for calling it out. Professional agitators and anarchists. So now this is the warning to all of them. See, now you done messed around and got the attention of the feds. And Trump has now labeled, especially Antifa, as domestic terrorists. Now that's big. We already done got one dude who got 18 years, I think. 18 years. Now you would think at this point, when you start labeling folks as domestic terrorists, now you start to find out who's supporting these domestic terrorists. Now you're able to approach this in a whole different way. And this shouldn't take long to unravel this. See, they're out here lying about Antifa and saying Antifa's not real and this and that, it's just an ideal and stuff like that. Let me tell you how to do this. Let me tell you how to do this. Okay? Grab yourself a couple of these softcore Antifians running around with their helmets on and their faces covered. Grab you about 2 or 3 of them and then threaten them with being charged with some domestic terrorists on their record and say, now, give me the people that I need to know. Okay, let's go up the chain. Who contacts you guys? Who coordinates this? Who pays you? Oh, let's go get this one. And then keep going up that chain until we can find out who's responsible for these idiots who's been running around for about 12 years now, unabated.
Go ahead, why don't you defend? Let's see you defend them, Jeff.
No, I'm not defending anyone. I just want, so that we can just explain this in our stories. Can you name a couple?
You don't explain it right, though, Jeff. Go ahead, let's go. Maybe let's give you another chance. Go ahead.
Antifa, Soros. What names are we talking about?
Well, Soros is a name certainly that I keep hearing. I don't know, but
yeah, you see how Trump played it? Yeah, we all know who he was talking about. And this guy brings it up and he's like, well, Soros is a name I keep hearing. I don't know. Since you bring him up.
Soros is a name that I hear. I hear a lot of different names. But I'll tell you what, somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing. This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacist. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got to be
not
kidding.
Militia. Trump. Oh, you got to be kidding me. See, now, you got to figure. Any group that the Democrats defend are part of them. See, that's how we know. Most likely, if you follow the money trail, there's some USAID money, and some Soros money, all of this stuff like that. You think these Democrats are upset with Antifa? I've never seen any Democrat criticize Antifa, say that Antifa was a problem, recognize, acknowledge Antifa. Nothing. No matter what Antifa has done, have been responsible for, regardless of them, spray painting on stuff, Antifa, they don't have a problem at all with Antifa. Antifa don't come up in their vocabulary unless a Republican is talking about them. And now that Trump is saying, let's designate them as a domestic terrorist group, Democrats are mad about it. Now you got to ask yourself, why is that? Yeah, when you got Joe Biden back then saying it's not even a real thing, it's just an idea.
That's what his FBI director said.
Well,
we're done, sir. We're moving on to the next.
I had one the other night. I went into a restaurant and this woman stood up. I looked at her immediately. She had money. She wasn't. They get paid for it. They're profession from Soros and other people. And we're going to look into Soros because I think it's a RICO case against him and other people.
Thank you.
Because this is more than like protests. This is real agitation. This is riots on the street.
Yep. And their butts better be scared. Right about now, if I've been supporting these groups and stuff like that, I would be cleaning house, trying to separate myself from any of them so that it can't be traced back to me. So I hope that the Trump administration follows through when it comes down to dragging these folks in under RICO, under domestic terrorists, however you got to deal with them. Deal with them in the most vicious, harsh way. So it will discourage these fools from going out every night with umbrellas, the garbage cans, shields, all kind of stuff. Looking like some dang on old school Greek army up there in Portland. I'll never forget. They all came out at nighttime with umbrellas and shields and stuff. And I'm watching this and I'm saying, are you kidding me? And you know that these folks are a part of the system because when they do it in SO ran cities and states, Nothing happens to them. They allow these folks to harass law enforcement, ICE, federal buildings all day and all night long and don't do anything about it. So if you really want to know why the Democrats ain't saying nothing about Antifa and then they're getting mad about Trump saying let's go after them, it's because they are foot soldiers of the Democrat Party. There you have it. So we're going to see what happens, guys. The rubber is about to meet the road. And I like it. I'm like, burn, baby, burn. That's what I want to see. Somebody said, not yet, Kev. Don't quit. Oh, I got to quit. I got about 9 more minutes of material, but I'm going to let y'all go for now because I'm coming back for more a little later. Okay? So right now, God bless y'all. Thanks for kicking it with me tonight. And I love you guys too. Thank you so much, Don. Thank you, everybody, for just checking out the show, participating, and giving me your time and effort. Yeah, I'll be here all week, man. I got some free time, so I'm going to be making some standalone videos and everything. So keep your ear to the street. Don't forget, subscribe to my alternative channel so you can get some short clips and some throwback clips and all of that other stuff. Anyone wants to support the channel, don't forget you can do it through my Cash App, my PayPal, and all of that. Somebody said the doggies. Oh, man, I got them locked up. So I ain't going to get up and go and drag them out there for now. They're about due for another haircut, though, coming up real soon. That's right. And then let's see what else. Oh, follow me on the other social media platforms if you get a chance. All those links are below as well. Somebody said links. Yeah, there should be links after this live stream gets done. You should be able to go and look at the links if you're looking for any type of link, regardless of what it is, whether you want to just follow me on social media or you want to support the channel through my Cash App and all this stuff. They're all below each video. Okay. Somebody said any gnats. I saw about 1 or 2 of them, but then they left me alone. So maybe they learned from their wicked ways after I killed about 8 of their brothers. There it is. And left their bodies out in the street so they could see them and learn what not to do. Gnats come in my house, they through. All right. Anyway, see you guys later. Take care. God bless.